Welcome to Voyage Daily Tech, the most important news personalized for you every day, supported by Voyage.com.
Today we're sharing 5 stories. First, a Goldman Sachs report reveals a shocking jump in tech unemployment. We'll discuss why companies like Microsoft and Salesforce are offloading up to 50% of work to AI and creating a huge risk for the next generation of talent. Then, we'll cover how the Department of Justice charged 2 individuals with smuggling millions in advanced Nvidia H100 chips to China, bypassing strict US export controls. Third, we'll examine why Intel's new CEO, Lip-Bu Tan, is under fire after his former company paid a $140 million penalty for selling to a Chinese military university. After that, get ready for the advisory firm of one. We'll explore how AI could let a single advisor serve 500 clients and the massive risks that come with it. And finally, AMD reveals an $800 million hit from US export controls, but CEO Lisa Su is fighting back, landing a key endorsement from OpenAI's Sam Altman for AMD's newest AI chips. A new report from Goldman Sachs just revealed a startling statistic about AI and the job market. Unemployment for tech workers between 20 and 30 years old has jumped 3 percentage points just since the start of this year. This isn't a random fluctuation. It's a direct consequence of a new corporate playbook. For the last 20 years, tech employment was on a steady, linear climb, but over the last 3 years, that trend has reversed. There's been a significant pullback in tech hiring, and generative AI is the reason. Now, is AI the only factor, or is it also a convenient excuse for something else? Research suggests it's both. This is happening during a period of economic uncertainty, and while AI does increase efficiency, it also gives large firms the perfect cover to streamline their workforce and appease shareholders. For example, Microsoft reported saving around $500 million by integrating AI, but that announcement came alongside over 15,000 job cuts. So it's a genuine technological shift, but also a strategic business move. The world's biggest companies are now openly admitting how much work they're offloading to AI. At giants like Alphabet and Microsoft, AI is already producing roughly 30% of the code on some projects. At Salesforce, CEO Mark Benioff said AI now handles as much as 50% of the work at his company. Now, those numbers sound incredible, right? 50% of the work just gone. But what's often overlooked in this productivity equation is the productivity paradox. Are these companies actually getting 50% more done? The research says not exactly. While AI assistants can write code incredibly fast, one study showed a 55% speed boost. The human effort just shifts. Instead of writing, engineers now spend huge amounts of time reviewing, debugging, and securing AI-generated code. And that's critical because some studies show nearly half of that code has security flaws. So the time saved on one end is often lost on the other. This is where the situation takes a more complex turn. A top executive at Goldman Sachs put the strategy in stark terms, calling young employees the casualty of this new era. The game plan is to hold off on hiring junior employees as they deploy AI to streamline their operations. The ripple effects here are profound. This isn't just about a few tough years for new graduates. It breaks the entire career ladder. For decades, you started as a junior, learned the ropes on foundational tasks, and slowly gained the experience to become a senior engineer. If AI automates all those entry-level tasks, how does anyone get the experience to become senior talent? We risk creating a generation of engineers who are great at prompting an AI, but can't actually build or debug a complex system from scratch. That's a huge systemic risk. And this isn't just about entry-level tech jobs. The same Goldman Sachs report projects that over time, AI automation could eliminate roughly 6 to 7% of all jobs in a baseline scenario. This all points to a massive disconnect between what our schools teach and what the job market needs. Coding boot camps are already shutting down, citing AI's impact on the very jobs they train people for. The responsibility to bridge this gap is falling on everyone, schools, companies, and individuals. But if that was just the appetizer, the main course is just being served. The Economist behind the report issued a chilling warning. This analysis doesn't even factor in the potential emergence of AGI, or artificial general intelligence. If AI achieves the ability to learn and adapt like a person, the impact on the labor market would be, in his words, profoundly more disruptive. So, while corporations are grappling with AI's impact on their workforce, governments are locked in a battle over the very hardware that makes it all possible. Which brings us to our next story. Tens of millions of dollars of America's most advanced AI technology smuggled directly to China. We're talking about Nvidia's H100 chips, the absolute cutting edge. To put this in perspective, these aren't just computer components. They are the engines of modern artificial intelligence. The H100 is specifically designed for training massive AI models. US officials are concerned that if this technology falls into the wrong hands, it could be used to accelerate military and surveillance capabilities, which is why they're considered a critical national security asset. The Department of Justice has arrested and charged two 28-year-old Chinese nationals in California, Chuan Geng and Shiwei Yang, with running a massive illegal shipping operation. And here's the most audacious part. Their California-based company, Alex Solutions, was allegedly founded shortly second after the US chip controls first came into place. The DOJ says they set up shop with the specific purpose of bypassing the new laws. According to the criminal complaint, their scheme was sophisticated. They allegedly used their company to export the sensitive chips, concealing the shipments by routing them through freight forwarding companies in Singapore and Malaysia. Now, this is a huge geopolitical issue. These intermediary countries are under immense pressure. In fact, Malaysia recently announced it would require special trade permits for any US origin AI chips moving through its territory. They're trying to crack down, but the sheer volume makes it incredibly difficult. The DOJ says a search of their office and phones revealed incriminating communications, laying out the plan to evade US export laws. This case cracks open a much wider issue, pointing to a massive enforcement gap. A recent Senate report found that the US agency in charge of enforcement, the Bureau of Industry and Security, is, and I quote, inadequate at every level. Its budget has been basically flat since 2010, while its job has become infinitely more complex. They're trying to police a fire hose of global trade with a garden hose. Nvidia itself has called smuggling a non-starter, warning that data centers built with smuggled chips are a losing proposition without service, support, or updates. However, if you zoom out, you'll see another layer of strategy at play in China. An entire underground industry has sprung up to make these smuggled chips work. We're talking about unauthorized repair shops in cities like Shenzhen. It gets even more wild. There are viral videos showing Chinese technicians converting consumer-grade gaming GPUs into powerful AI accelerators on an industrial scale. The dangerous part is that this cat and mouse game is also fueling their race for self-sufficiency. To get around Nvidia's software lock, Chinese companies like Huawei are pouring billions into creating their own software ecosystems. Now, the FBI is investigating. If convicted, the two individuals face a maximum penalty that shows exactly how seriously the US is taking this threat. 20 years in federal prison. Speaking of the high-stakes world of chip technology, the scrutiny is now turning inward, focusing on the leaders of America's own tech giants. A company just agreed to pay over $140 million for selling its chip design products to a Chinese military university, an institution believed to be involved in simulating nuclear blasts. And according to the Department of Justice, this wasn't just an accident. It was a deliberate 6-year conspiracy to commit export control violations using front companies. The company was Cadence Design Systems, and now the man who was CEO when those sales happened is the new CEO of Intel, a company at the very heart of America's national security infrastructure. That connection has triggered alarm bells in Washington. Republican Senator Tom Cotton has sent a formal letter to Intel's board expressing deep concern. The central issue, the past and present business of Intel's new chief, Lip-Bu Tan. And the concerns don't just stop with his former company. According to reports, Tan has personally invested at least $200 million in hundreds of Chinese advanced manufacturing and chip firms, some with reported links to the Chinese military. This situation presents a fascinating duality. On one side, Intel is a critical partner in the government's Secure Enclave program, guaranteeing a secure microelectronics supply for American defense. On the other, its leader has deep financial ties to a strategic rival. Now, a key detail often missed is that the CHIPS Act, which provides this funding, has strict rules to stop federal money from helping foreign adversaries, but it focuses on what a company can do, like building factories in China. It doesn't have explicit rules for vetting the personal investments or past associations of the executives running these critical companies. This creates a grey area. Senator Cotton's letter puts it bluntly, questioning if Tan's associations undermine Intel's ability to be a responsible steward of American taxpayer dollars. He's demanding to know what Intel's board knew about the criminal case at Cadence before they hired him, and if they required him to divest from his Chinese holdings. And that question about divestment, well, it's not as simple as it sounds. For a venture capitalist with a web of international investments, it's incredibly complex. There are loopholes. An individual could sell a direct stake but retain an indirect financial interest in a fund that holds those same assets. Verifying a truly clean exit is notoriously difficult. Intel has stated that the company and its CEO are deeply committed to the national security of the United States, but with a 9-figure penalty for his former company and a $200 million investment portfolio in the spotlight, the pressure is mounting. We've been discussing massive shifts at the corporate and geopolitical level, but this next story brings the AI revolution down to a very personal and potentially disruptive level. The story begins with a concept that caught everyone by surprise: the advisory firm of one. Experts are calling it an inevitable regime change in productivity. The idea is revolutionary. A single financial advisor, supercharged by AI, managing hundreds of clients alone. You may have heard about a looming financial advisor shortage, with forecasts projecting a need for 100,000 more by 2034. But that forecast is on a collision course with a jaw-dropping new number. AI is set to enable a single advisor to serve 500 clients instead of the current 100. That is a 5-fold leap in capacity, a non-linear shift that could make the advisor shortage a total non-issue. So how does this work? The prediction is that autonomous AI agents will replace most operational roles entirely: client onboarding, portfolio design, tracking, even complex back-office tasks. This creates what are being called wealth enterprises of a few. What's really compelling here is how the advisor's role shifts. They're no longer bogged down by paperwork. They become the human strategist, the empathetic guide. However, this also raises a critical question about trust. A recent CFP board survey found that while 87% of people trust a human advisor, only 37% trust an AI tool. So the human element remains essential. For the average person, this could be a game changer. The cost of advice is expected to plummet, making quality financial planning finally accessible to middle-income families. It means hyper-personalized plans that adjust to your life in real time at a fraction of the cost. The trade-off for all this personalization, however, is significant. To create those plans, the AI needs a constant, massive feed of your most sensitive data. This creates a giant cybersecurity risk, a data honeypot that is incredibly attractive to hackers. In fact, one recent study found that 45% of financial services organizations have already experienced an AI-powered cyber attack in the last year. This revolution sets up a high-stakes battle. Will giant firms with superior AI crush smaller players? Or will small firms use AI partners to become leaner than ever? The warning to the industry is clear. Slow adoption will be fatal. This also introduces a systemic risk that many haven't considered. What happens if all these AI advisors are built on just a few dominant models? This could create an algorithmic monoculture. If millions of AI-managed portfolios all react to a market event in the exact same synchronized way, it could trigger an algorithmic flash crash. The risk of AI herding behavior is very real. This also raises a huge legal question. If an AI gives you bad advice, who is responsible? Believe it or not, regulators like the SEC are already making it very clear. The firm cannot delegate its responsibility to an algorithm. The human is still on the hook, which means the advisory firm of one carries a world of new risk. We were just talking about the incredible potential of AI-driven services, but none of that is possible without the underlying hardware. And for one of the biggest players in that space, AMD, the geopolitical climate is creating some serious turbulence. The company just revealed that US export restrictions cost it $800 million in a single quarter. Now, this isn't just about lost sales. A huge part of that $800 million hit comes from inventory write-downs. This means AMD had to devalue a massive stock of high-tech chips they had already built, but are now legally barred from selling, which directly crushes their profitability. CEO Lisa Su didn't mince words, stating the restrictions effectively eliminated sales of one key AI chip to China. The compliance process itself is a strategic puzzle. To comply, companies like AMD have to create special export-compliant chips. This isn't just a different label. They have to technically limit the chip's core functions to fall below government thresholds. But this creates a huge strategic risk. By creating a market for these slightly less powerful chips, the US might actually be accelerating China's own efforts to build its domestic chip industry. But that's not the whole picture. The real turning point is how AMD is fighting back. While battling headwinds from Washington, AMD is in an all-out war with its rival Nvidia for AI market dominance. And it just scored a massive endorsement. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman has now committed to using AMD's newest GPUs, a huge win as AI players desperately seek an alternative to Nvidia's pricey chips. You see, this is a classic second source squeeze play. By publicly embracing AMD, companies like OpenAI and Meta gain leverage. It sends a clear signal to Nvidia that they have other options which can help them negotiate better prices and supply terms. AMD's CEO is leaning into the fight. Su told analysts their new Instinct MI350 chip is directly competitive with Nvidia's best. Now, get this, she then dropped a statistic. 7 of the top 10 AI companies are already using AMD's Instinct chips. Of course, we need to put that into perspective. In 2023, Nvidia still shipped 3.76 million data center GPUs, capturing an almost unbelievable 98% of the market. AMD shipped around 500,000, so while the commitment from big names is a huge step, the gap is still very real. And here's the final twist. While all eyes are on the AI chip war, another part of AMD's business is quietly exploding. Its client and gaming division saw revenue skyrocket 69%. Gaming revenue alone soared an incredible 73%. And this actually points to AMD's unique strength. While everyone is focused on GPUs, we're forgetting about the unsung hero of the AI server, the CPU. An AI system needs a powerful CPU to manage the data flow and feed the GPUs. And AMD, with its dominant EPYC server, CPUs, is one of the only companies in the world that excels at making both. This all begs the question, as AMD navigates a geopolitical minefield, is its real secret weapon its ability to be a one-stop shop for the entire brain of an AI system?
That's it for today on Voyage Daily Tech. Follow, share, and stay tuned for daily updates coming your way tomorrow.